The tar sands in Alberta are the second largest pool of carbon on Earth. Jim Hansen at NASA, our greatest climatologist, pointed out earlier this year that if we burned all the economically recoverable oil up there, we'd actually put more carbon into the atmosphere than we've put in burning everything else we've burned as a civilization. It makes no sense at this stage in the game to be opening up new sources of carbon. We desperately need to keep coal and oil and gas we've already found in the ground. And each time we find a kind of another liquor cabinet to break into, our binge just goes on that much longer. The Keystone pipeline is the first really big straw that would be stuck into this milkshake, that we'd start sucking on. The argument of the sort of realists in the administration who wanted to build it was, well, they'll just ship it to China anyway if we don't do it, so we might as well get it. Happily, our colleagues, our brothers and sisters in Canada have put up a tremendous fight, especially the Indigenous people up there. And last week, the Globe and Mail, Canada's premier newspaper, said this thing's dead. They're never going to build this gateway pipeline to the Pacific. It's not going to happen. So the Keystone thing is kind of their last fallback. And should Obama be reelected, it'll be by far the most interesting test, both of he and of Hillary Clinton, whose State Department will have to approve it, about whether they're willing to stand up to the fossil fuel industry or not. We'll keep trying to push them. I suppose if we have to go back to jail, we will. But it's the single biggest new source of carbon, and one that we really could effectively seal off for a few more years. Given enough time, the Canadians will probably find some way to take it to market. But we have to assume that given enough time, given 4 or 5 or 10 years to fight, we'll have reached the point on this planet where we realize just how incredibly stupid it is to take more carbon and pour it into the atmosphere. So if we win this fight for time, then maybe we win this fight. If we lose it, as Jim Hansen said, burn those tar sands on top of everything else you're burning, and it's game over for the climate. You would have thought that that would have been enough just by itself to keep government and industry from going ahead, but they didn't blink an eye, not until we built a movement. That's why we have to keep building movements.